If you're a man, pride and ego, yeah, is the silent killer of your career when it comes to the workplace. We're going to talk about it. I know because I am a man, I've worked with many different men and females who have this same problem. So it's not just men, but this one is labeled to the men because the industry what I work in, yeah, it is generally men, right? So we want to know what is that? And I've made some bullet points because I'm taking this one seriously. So sit down, get yourself a cup of tea, subscribe first, and then we're going to get to the key points which we're going to talk about. Understanding pride and ego inside a workplace. What is it? So ego, the word, we're going to put it up on the screen now. This is the meaning of it, right? But we're going to talk about it when it comes to work. So how does that happen within men? Yeah, it happens generally within men when they're not refusing to take feedback on situations. Do you get it? That's a big thing when you're explaining something to someone and they're refusing to understand the points, maybe what you said, or listen to the facts of it. Yeah, that's when you're letting your ego come into it and you're not allowing it to be part of the job, right? The impact on your ego, on your career growth, yeah, will definitely stunt it because you're not working together as a team. So poor teamwork, yeah, you get that from having an ego. So I just want to let people understand these things. I know I'm looking over this way because it's stuff which I've written down on my phone, but I want to make sure I get the points and then I'll get to some real life examples of situations where an ego got in place, which was I've been working with many different tradespeople from different trades, from plumbers to electricians to carpenters, but mainly plumbers and electricians, right? So electricians sometimes become the head person who is in charge, and them having an understanding how a plumbing job goes or the things what you have to do to prep yourself for that or making sure that it's safe, they're not going to understand that because it's not their trade. So they have to take away their ego and actually have a listen and step back and listen to the other person because they might have a better strategy to do something. I worked with an electrician once, yeah, and he was in charge of this site. So what he decided to do is we had a boiler which was had a tin roof and the tin roof was leaking. So around the flue, he said, "Oh, we're getting water builded up around the flue. So let's go onto the roof and let's seal it with mastic." Mastic. Really? Really, sir? But I just went on with it because I told him that it's the wrong thing to do. But after people don't want to listen to you, there's not really much more you can do. And what I did do was he explained something to me was like, we've got a floating roof. So I'll give you another example. Floating roof on a flat building. Cool. Yeah, it's supposed to have water in it. No, it's not. No, it's not. I even went on to ChatGPT and I sent him like how a floating roof is supposed to be. And again, after that, he didn't say thank you or he didn't want to acknowledge the message, but I know he read the message because the message was, I would say it was over 1,000 words, which I sent to him, which was, I'm not trying to correct you. I'm just trying to enlighten you to a bit of information. And his ego was too big. His head was bigger than his body. But again, he has to carry that head wherever he goes because knowing that you're not willing to learn from one of your team members who is qualified within being a plumber instead of qualified within being an electrician when it comes to an issue like having a floating roof. These are simple things which we can find out, information which is available online, but your ego will allow you to tell you that, guess what, I know best and you don't know nothing. Guess what? I don't really care about that because I know at that point it's all your ego which is leading the team down failing tasks which are gonna pop back up, but also become a hindrance at some point when it comes to the site. When I realized that this person didn't want to reply or say nothing to me, I just didn't play into it anymore. I've moved on now, and moving on now means that I'm aware of that person doesn't want to learn from someone else or anything like that. So, okay, no problem. But it's going to stunt your growth. I know it's going to stunt your growth. It stunted your growth everywhere where you've went, because this particular person, they're electrician, so they say. But the same pictures of them sending me of their property, which was, we was talking one time and he sent me some pictures over WhatsApp, and you still got sockets hanging out and stuff like that. I don't believe you are an electrician. I don't even believe you are much of a tradesperson, but that's my personal thing, because when I've asked you about some electrical things, you didn't know, didn't have the Scoobius. And if you know, you know. And if you don't know, you just don't know. Maybe it's because you didn't take pride in what you're doing. Maybe it's because you just don't remember. Maybe it's because you've been on other stuff. I don't know. I don't really care. But I just wanted to tell you guys that having that ego inside the workplace just will stunt you, and it will end your growth when it comes to growing up as a man. Understanding that even a leader would have to step back and let someone else who has got more experience or more knowledge within what they're doing or the task, lead that task and get it done. We can't always know everything as men, and we don't need to go on like we do. The thing about it is that we learn off of people who maybe sometimes we idolize or we look up to, but that person can come in loads of shapes and forms. I just know that some people, when they get a little bit older, who they take that knowledge from is very personal and subjective to them, because of how they might have had their upbringing, who they might think is smart, who they might think is not smart. These are just things which just are out there, innit? And I think that it's a big killer of a lot of men's careers, because you spend so much time around these people. You're not trying to impress these people. And I wasn't trying to impress this individual by giving him that information, because I already told him that I'm a plumbing lecturer and I am a plumber by trade. So these are just simple things which, you know, just most people would know. But I know at that point I have like 20 years experience, and that person probably has about 15 or 10 years experience. And even the 10 years experience, I still question it, because, you know, like, I'm not an electrician, right? I know how to wire up some basic things. And if I didn't know, I have a friend who is an electrician. And if you've got continuous construction problems inside your own property, you get them done. You could do bit by bit. It doesn't kill you, because you understand what to do. You understand, if I do it in sections, I can get X amount done and I can move on. But yeah, I guess there's something to learn at every door, at every opportunity. Men should understand that you could learn from someone who you probably don't even rate more time. You don't rate them, but what they're saying is facts, it's honesty, it's the truth. And I hope that that person sees this video one day, because they understand that this is about them and it's not personal. Like I said, I don't know if that person will ever grow in their own ego or within their own space, but it would help so much people if you did, because you wanting to be a leader of people and lead a force of men or women inside a workplace, you need to understand that because you don't do and you haven't got your 18th edition, you're not the top spark. You're not the top spark because you don't have all of the qualifications which are necessary to run the site or the job. And the better you play the position of being able to delegate, because that's what your supervisor position was at the time, or whatever it is now, that's what you're there to do. You're here to supervise people. You're not here to take over the job. Many a times I saw this person take over the job because they felt that they could do it better than other people. But again, your choice is your choice, isn't it? But we realize how many things you do wrong, because we was there. I saw it. You know, it was funny at some points, but I had to step back and just allow people to do their own thing, because when sometimes you involve yourself, even as a man, just to help, it could end up spiraling out of control and flipping back on you and making it be like, it's our problem now. No, it's your problem to begin with, because you shouldn't have touched it. You have no qualifications on it, and you have no understanding about what you're doing and the applications, what you're using to maybe create a seal and all that. That is not the right thing to do. So, you know, hey ho, we move. But I wanted to bring it to people's front, which was, that is the big killer. So I'll tell you what the title is again, but make sure you subscribe. The title is Men's Pride and Ego is the Silent Killer of Your Career. For sure it is. For sure, for sure, for sure. Just remember that, man, that your ego, leave it at home. A little bit of the pride, leave it at home, because you're learning from each other, and we learn from people every single day. Someone's going to learn from this video, and I hope that they understand that ego side of it, and being able to operate in a team environment inside a workplace. You need to be able to play your role, but also help out when it's necessary. And helping out is not shutting down a team member because you think you know better, or saying something which has no facts, or you've never done any research about it. Again, people will question, and some people will stay in their place inside workplaces. But we want all men to have the right type of mental health and the right type of attitude when it comes to work and the environment, because some of them make it a bad environment. It's called a toxic environment, which I will be speaking about at some point, which is a toxic workplace. But if you like this type of video, you should check out some of my other videos, which is called The Work Bozo. Similar, you know, or other older generation, that video which I've done. So I'll try and pin both of those videos on this post right now. But do enjoy, like, share and subscribe, and be mindful of people and the people you come across, and understand their actions, but just move with grace in life. It's Mr. London Plumber.